Once upon a time, there was a woman named Kisa Gotami who lost her son. She was so distraught that she carried his dead body from house to house, begging for help. She finally came to the Buddha and asked him to bring her son back to life. The Buddha listened to Kisa Gotami's story with compassion. He knew that she was in great pain, but he also knew that death is a part of life, and that there is no way to bring back the dead. The Buddha said to Kisa Gotami, "I can help you, but first you must bring me a mustard seed from a house where no one has ever died." Kisa Gotami was hopeful. She thought that this would be an easy task. After all, everyone must have experienced death at some point in their lives. But she was wrong. Kisa Gotami went from house to house asking for a mustard seed. But at every house, she heard the same story. Someone had died, or someone was sick, or someone had lost a loved one. After a long and difficult day, Kisa Gotami returned to the Buddha. She told him that she couldn't find a single house that had never experienced death. The Buddha smiled. He said, "Now you know the truth. Death is a part of life. Everyone experiences it at some point. But even in the midst of sorrow, there is always hope. And faith can help us to overcome any obstacle." Kisa Gotami was disappointed. She had hoped that the Buddha would be able to bring her son back to life, but she also realized that he was wise and compassionate. She knew that he was trying to teach her something important. Kisa Gotami asked the Buddha, "What do you mean by faith?" The Buddha replied, "Faith is trust. It is the belief that even in the darkest of times, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. It is the belief that even in the midst of suffering, there is always hope for a better future." Kisa Gotami thought about what the Buddha said. She realized that she had lost faith. She had become so focused on her own grief that she had forgotten about the light of hope. Kisa Gotami bowed to the Buddha and said, "Thank you for your teaching. I have learned a valuable lesson. I will no longer let my grief consume me. I will choose to have faith, even in the darkest of times." Kisa Gotami returned home and buried her son's body. She then went back to the Buddha and asked him to teach her more about faith. The Buddha taught Kisa Gotami about the importance of compassion, kindness, and forgiveness. He taught her how to let go of her anger and resentment. He taught her how to find peace and happiness within herself. Kisa Gotami became a disciple of the Buddha. She dedicated her life to helping others and spreading the message of faith. The story of the Buddha and the mustard seed is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. And even the smallest amount of faith can help us to overcome any obstacle. Faith is not about believing in something that is impossible. It is about trusting that there is always a way forward, even when we can't see it. It is about believing that we are not alone and that there is always help available to us. So let us all choose to have faith. Let us choose to believe in ourselves, in each other, and in a better future for all. I'm so grateful for the gift of faith. It has helped me to find peace and happiness in my life. I hope that you will share this story with others so that they can also experience the power of faith. Subscribe to my channel for more inspiring and heartwarming stories.